Hey guys, RC Peck here with Fearless Wealth. I want to show you three, they're technically subsectors. Now, some people may call them sectors, some people may call them asset classes. They're not. It's actually a subsector. So all three of these subsectors I'm going to show you are a sub of a sector. So this first I want to show you is IBB. Now, this is the biotech. Now, biotech is a subsector of healthcare. And what's interesting about biotech is it's been out of favor for so many years. Now, this looks like a new lifetime high. It's pretty close to a new lifetime high. But when I zoom out, and let me just zoom out 10 years, let me just look at this for a second. It is coming up to that next breakout. But what I like about this is anything above those two blue horizontal lines, kind of above that, this is an area of strength. Now, it still needs to break above its old high in 2015. But the fact that it's leading us out of this mess we're in, meaning it's one of the strongest parts of the stock market right now, this is pretty strong. Now, it's got one or two checks against it. Again, one being it has this 2015 high to break through. I actually don't see that being a problem. It has really broken out above, again, looking at the blue lines on the screen. And so it's beautiful. If I zoom back in, you see the same kind of, here are the same two blue lines, but zoom back in. And you can see how it broke above here and is moving higher. So I think the IBB, which is the NASDAQ Biotech ETF, is just, looks good. Okay, the other subsector, I'm going to show you a total of three. The next one is the First Trust Dow Jones Internet Index. So look at this thing. Now, let's do the same thing and just look at this right here on a 3.5 year price chart first. But look, it was going sideways for a while. It was really having a hard time breaking and staying above like the 147. That's the top blue line. And every time it did in the past, it broke back down. Given that it is breaking out, right, and it challenged and is almost going to beat its February 19th, that is really strong. Now, let me quickly zoom out. I actually don't know how long FDN specifically has been around. So look at this. This is beautiful. It has been trending higher. I don't want to say 10 years because right here, it then decided to go sideways, but it didn't break down. Even when the whole market broke down, it didn't break down below its 18 low. It went right to it, turned around, got right back up, and moved right back up to testing its new lifetime high. So we have FDN challenging a new lifetime high. And this becomes a base here, guys. So all of this back and forth, really, it stopped going up. You can call it July of 2018, call it 18 months. It's been going sideways, it's been tightening, and now it's wanting to break higher. And in fact, it did break out higher, but then COVID hit. February 19th was the stock market high in the US. Had a huge correction. Let's just see what that correction was. Gosh, that's interesting. It was only a 30% correction. The stock market, the S&P, corrected 34%. So the fact that it corrected 10% less just tells you how strong this subsector is. And here it is, FDN breaking and testing that high that it broke out to on February 19th. Again, FDN, super strong. That's the Dow Jones Internet Index. So that's number two. And then the last one I want to show you is GDX. Now, again, the reason why these are all subsectors is because GDX is, you can look at it one of two ways. It's a precious metal. It's not the main metals. So the main sector would be materials, XLB. This is not just, it's actually almost a subsector. But look at this. It's kind of, depends how you look at this. In some ways, it's kind of a mess, right? This is a 3.5 year price chart, and it is pretty messy. But a couple things stand out. First of all, this extreme volatility here. I mean, that is, let's just look at what it dropped. And not only did it drop, what is that, 39%, it did it over 2 weeks. I mean, that is pretty extreme price volatility. Now, what I do like is it's been trending higher. Let me quickly put trend. We had a trend going higher here, and it was going higher, and it's generally sticking in there. It gets above it sometimes. And obviously, this was a huge clean out. But GDXJ, which is large cap precious metal mining, is really, hold on, I don't want to save these, is really, really impressive. Now, these are not new lifetime highs. Its high is about $62. But the fact that it broke above $31, it took about 7 years to break above $31. And so this has found some clean, fresh air. Now, I'm not saying it's going to do a direct move to $62, but man, that's the next major, major, major place it's going to want to get to. And let me just zoom out here and just show you. Let's go back 10 years. So there's that old high there in September of 2011, and that's right around $62, $63. That's where it's going to want to go. Now, look, there's going to be some resistance right around the $40 mark. But that's still $6 away. And again, it's not gigantic resistance, but still there is some resistance there. But man, this really looks like it wants to get back to 62. And then who knows where it's going to go from there. So here's the three sectors I'm talking about. So one was biotech. Interesting thing about biotech, it often goes sideways for years and years and years, creates a huge base, and then just breaks out to the upside. The second one was FDN, internet. Not much to add. No one's surprised that internet is going higher. But what's interesting is it went sideways for 18 months. It did break out to new lifetime highs right before this whole thing started, this whole COVID thing started, at least in the US with the stock market. And there it is already testing new lifetime highs. And then the third is precious metal mining stocks using GDX, which is the VanEck Vectors gold miners. So these are three really strong sectors. And now here's the thing. You want to buy strength, right? You get no bonus points for trying to buy a turnaround story or a turnaround sector. Guys, buy what's already going up. That's where the power is. So it's one thing to tell you and point out to you what these sectors are. It's entirely another thing to know how to step into them, know how to stay in them, know whether you should be staying into them during a whipsaw or not a whipsaw. Really, the finding the symbols, the finding the sectors, the finding the subsectors. People often believe that's the magic. It's not. It's actually very straightforward to find the strength. Now, no one's probably ever taught you that. I train my clients to do that in my training. But the real power, the real magic is the behavior, right? It's not enough to just know what to buy. How much of it do you buy? How long do you stay in, right? These are the things that define how well your portfolio is going to grow. And so that's why I love to show you where the strength is, because I know the real magic is actually how much do you put in? How long do you stay in, right? And figuring out some other things. So if you have interest and if you're noticing, look, I'd love to have more stability. I'd love to have more certainty, more clarity, more control over my portfolio, over my investments, over my future. There's something kind of fun. We could get on the phone and have what's called a portfolio x-ray call, where literally we look at some of your symbols that you own or your big box advisor owns for you, and literally point out to you where the anchors are, where the symbols are that are hurting you. And then also look at the symbols that are helping you. Because guys, there is no benefit to having anchors in your portfolio, right? Even when you go sailing, you're not dragging 10 anchors through the water. You may have an anchor all tied up high. I don't know the terms for sailing, but this is what happens with people. They have, 50 stocks, 25 are anchors and 25 are doing well. And all that happens is they just underperform, but in an overwhelming way. And there's just no reason for that. So if you find yourself wanting more clarity and wanting that consistency and wanting control back over your money, super easy next step is for us to just get on the phone. And there's a link right above the comments where you can just go ahead and click on that. Also, too, you can just go to fearlesswealth.com/x-ray and we can get that going. All right, guys, thanks so much for being in my world. Again, this is RC Peck with just another step in helping you get more clarity and more control over your finances and your investments. All right, guys, thanks so much. Bye.